was just a Joe next door. Sorry, Brian.
Every now and then when I feel a bit buggy, I look at the floor, maybe need a new ruggy. Scratch that, I'll get some beers and get chuggy. Nah, man, I know what I need, some more man huggy. Oh, man huggy. Some more man huggy. Put your headphones on for proper audio quality, motherfucker.
Angry Black Quarterback back again. Episode. Oh, wait. This shit's a little loud. Episode number 38. Fumbletown, USA, because that's what we saw last week. A lot to get into. Of course, Elwood is all decked out in his Cowboys gear. So, and we have 2.0 here, of course. One game out of first place. Think about that. The Broncos are one game out of being in first place with the Chiefs. And you still play the Chiefs again, correct? Oh, you already played them twice? Oh, I was hoping that you guys played one more time. I didn't look at the schedule that far ahead.
Split the season series with the Chiefs. If they lose a division game, they play the Raiders and the Chargers once again. If they lose, we win out. We're on top of the division.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to lose either of those games. Justin Herbert's got two broken fingers now. Think about that. He was walking around looking like a doofus with one broken finger, and now he broke a finger on the other hand. They got to fire Stanley. And then, of course, Elwood. First place in the NFC East for now. We'll see what happens. Now, you've begun your gauntlet, but y'all won the game. I'm sure you're riding high and feeling good in all your Cowboys gear.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about the game, obviously. We'll talk about some other shit. Got this football. I don't like that there's this much gap between the end of college football and the college football
I was just talking to my dad about
playoff.
that,
It's super fucking annoying.
Which, another thing the 12-man playoff will fix. Because you cannot have this amount of breakage time with that many teams in a playoff situation. So, yeah, way too much time off.
Yeah, it's like I gotta wait till after Christmas and New Year's and all this shit. Probably gonna have to work whenever those games are going on because that's a busy ass fucking day in general is New Year's Day. So fuck that. That's really annoying. I don't like that we have to wait so long. It seems like with NCAA basketball, it just happens and you don't realize it. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, March Madness is like next week. You're like, wait, what? Like it just like starts out of nowhere. There's no real big drop off, as where college football, man. It's just like now it's boring. There's a shit on Saturdays, and pretty soon it's gonna be crappy ass bowl games.
Well, I know the NFL. When is it? Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh, I think it's this weekend.
Like a Saturday.
Yeah, they have Saturday.
Doubleheader.
Yeah, they have to. This is when they start to spread it out. They got to fill the time. They don't like to battle for airtime, which I get, which makes sense. But how are you feeling, our in-house Cowboys fan?
Good. It was a good week. Pumped for the boys. I'm happy they won in the fashion that we did. Wasn't expecting it, to be honest, but it was nice to see.
Eagles just handed them the game. The 3 fumbles in Cowboys territory.
Well,
3 fumbles.
I will say
one on
two of those fumbles were full out punches.
Well, no,
It
I
was
mean,
our
one of
player
them.
making the play.
Yeah, but I mean, Devontae Smith should just get the fuck down. He's like weighs $135,
Bro,
so it can win. No, I'm saying so him diving.
AJ Brown's head the whole game.
I mean,
bro.
I wouldn't say that. AJ Brown had a fumble and he had a bad drop, but he still.
You wouldn't say that. Did you?
He still had like. Well, no.
Getting so frustrated. And
shit. They were both talking shit, but he still had like 9 catches for almost 100 yards. So it's not like he shut.
Yeah.
But that fumble was huge. That's a slop. There was sloppy football. Because there's a fumble. There's a fumble on the 20-yard line, on the 5-yard line, and on the 30-yard line of the Cowboys driving. So it's not like they were running more offensive plays like you'd like to see the Eagles play, more quick hitting routes, more quick stuff, get the ball out, make a quick decision, not these long-winded, drawn-out routes they make like Devontae Smith and AJ Brown run. They were actually throwing those, but like that, he caught the ball at first down. He gets tackled, fumbles the ball. It's sloppy ball control.
Well, you just said they were trying to do all these big plays when they should have stuck to the short game.
No, that was before. No, that was before. No, I'm saying weeks previous is what they were doing. In this game, all those plays that were fumbles were big plays in the first place. It's not like they were a 5-yard run and he fumbled. Like it was second or first and 20. and Jalen Hurts runs for 15 yards on a cornerback draw, but he's surrounded by 8 people and he doesn't just get the fuck down. He decides he's going to keep trying to run through everybody like he always does, and he fumbles. And it's the same reason Josh Allen fumbles. It's the same reason a lot of these guys fumble. If you're surrounded by that many people, just get the fuck down. Like, you're not like the biggest guy in the world. You're strong as shit, but I get down. Same with Devontae Smith. Big, long pass play. If he scores on that drive, that cuts it to a one-score game. So it's not like it's
well, it doesn't matter.
But what I'm saying is
0.
But he catches the ball, catches the ball, gets down, and doesn't get the fuck down. He keeps running for the extra play because they're pushing and pushing. So
Yeah,
no, I
and
mean
if
they
that's
handed the
out of
game away.
bounds, we beat y'all twice this season.
They handed
what's
the
up?
game. They was sloppy football and they handed the game away. That's basically what they did. Their offense. You can't say besides the fumble that Jalen Hurts necessarily played bad, because anytime they had a big play, there was a fucking fumble.
Okay, well the 3 fumbles.
And then there was two touchdown passes he threw. Then he threw 2. Hold on. Then he threw two touchdown passes that were dropped. One by AJ Brown and one by Devontae Smith, and both of those guys had fumbles. And then he had a fumble himself, but he had some pretty good throws that were dropped, like that one in the corner that was Devontae Smith. Well, I'm just saying.
I would give you that maybe. But you're talking, your excuses were just 3 major fumbles on drives, which I'll give you. They were good drives.
Yeah.
But that's 3 drives in the whole game. That's only 3. What happened to the rest of the drives where y'all couldn't score a touchdown all game?
Hey, man, if it wasn't for the points all you guys got was 2 field goals in the second half. So it's not like Dak lit it. No, hold on. It's not.
That meme I sent the group was money. Our field goal kicker made more points. And what wasn't I getting from y'all, like when we lost to San Francisco in the fashion? It was some point thing about someone got as many points as
we
Cowboys
scored. We scored more points than the Cowboys did against the Niners. That's all I said.
No, I'm saying when it was about.
I think they
Cowboys
scored I think
points.
they actually scored the exact same amount of points against both of us.
No, that's not the point. It was more of y'all were talking shit because Cowboys' whole offense had the same amount of points as like one player or something.
I don't remember that.
And literally, right in reverse is our field goal kicker.
Yeah, the offense.
Let's real talk.
The offense
Best
played
kicker
like
in the
the offense played like shit. I don't know if
Best
he's the
kicker
best.
in the
He's
league.
one of them. I wouldn't say he's the best.
He
I would-
hasn't missed a field goal.
I would-
and
I
the
would-
motherfucker
I
is
would-
kicking multiple 50-pluses in
Yeah,
a game.
hey,
Unreal.
the most 50 plussers and who's perfect from 50 plus and has more than him is the Eagles kicker. So I'm just saying, Eagles.
And he's also a rookie. He's a rookie.
I know, dude. We see kickers come out like that all the time. That's what literally.
No, not
yes,
kicking
that's
63.
literally what Jake Elliott did. Jake Elliott was a rookie. Hold on, no, Jake Elliott was a rookie and he had a 61-yard field goal to win a game in his first game, and he's been one of the best kickers since. There's like 3 or 4 kickers you'd want. He'd be one. The Eagles would be another. Tucker obviously with the Ravens has to be on that list. There's a like you could make a case for Zerline, who used to be a Cowboys kicker and has a monstrous leg. There's like maybe 3 or 4 guys you want, but he's been automatic. I'll give
Not
you
right now.
He's been automatic. But in the second half, the Eagles defense played better, but that was bad officiating on both sides. There was terrible calls that went against the Eagles.
Mahomes.
Terrible calls that went against the Cowboys too, is what I'm saying. These games are so fucking sloppy. There was some makeup calls that were made when the Eagles were losing, and I texted you at halftime and was like, "Oh man, this is sloppy as fuck." That was before the defensive touchdown. I was like, "There's no way. They're not holding on to the ball. The half of the team doesn't even seem inspired to play." And like
I'm honestly, you should, as an Eagles fan, you should be worried.
I'm.
And all this talk about Cowboys being worried down the stretch, like I thought about it after the Eagles game long and hard, and actually I thought about it harder after watching Miami game on Monday. That was garbage, and I can't believe, like I literally, what was it, the 3 minutes 30 something seconds left, and I go, oh well, this is fucking over, and I switched to the Giants game. And then Warden texted our fantasy group chat and he goes, Miami, wow. And I was just like, what? And I flipped back over and I was honestly dumbfounded to see that 28-27. But all that being said, it's kind of crazy the way the Cowboys are playing. Buffalo, Miami do not scare me. Yeah, they're going to be good games, and those are good teams. I'm not saying,
But they're teams with something to play
but
for.
yeah. So are Cowboys. We're playing for number
I
one
know,
seed.
and so are the Bills. So are the Bills. What I'm saying is, you have.
So I am a lot more comfortable as a fan of my team and the state of my team right now. You think, and you got to be honest with me right now. You think y'all are going to beat the Giants twice?
I think
Especially
we can
the
beat.
way DeVito's paying up.
I
over
think.
there.
I think that the sloppy offense and the fumbles. I think we just have to execute better. Honestly, it's not like they weren't moving the ball. It's not like they couldn't run the ball. It's not like these receivers weren't getting open. They weren't executing. So
Do y'all play Washington too? Is it Giants, Washington, and then who?
no, we play
other
we
team?
play the Cardinals.
So Cardinals.
We play the
Giants, and
Seahawks on. We have the
Washington.
Seahawks on
Okay.
Seahawks on Monday. Then we play the Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So we play the Seahawks in Philly, the
So you've already
Giants in
played
Philly,
Washington twice.
Cardinals. I think we play in Philly, and then we play in the Giants Stadium. I'm honestly more worried about playing in Giants Stadium and somebody not getting hurt than I am because that's where everybody's gotten fucking hurt this year.
And also just those are the type of games at in the time of the season. Inter division rival, one team really not having a chance, but rivaling in the thought that they could screw over another team's, thing. So I don't know. I'd be worried as an Eagles fan, man.
On I don't
paper,
know.
It's easier, but what we're seeing,
It's
not a cakewalk.
I guess, man. We have the exact same record. We've already beaten a bunch of really good teams this year. We've played a lot of games on the road. We've played more games on the road than or just as many on the road at home. We have a lot of home games coming up. You have to play some teams on the road as well.
Yeah,
so it's not.
We're doing this.
I guess, yeah.
We're doing this.
We came out of playing 6 games where everybody said we might go 0-6, and we came out 4-2. So I can't be that pissed off about it.
Well, your Chiefs win isn't looking too impressive anymore. I'll be honest. The Chiefs, what are the?
I guess you have to go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead is not easy because they had the longest winning streak in that
Broncos did it.
18, 19 straight games. After they lost to us, so they've lost back.
Detroit did it.
Back to no, Detroit didn't beat them there.
Yeah,
I thought that was a neutral site.
You think the Super Bowl champions are playing?
No, hold on. Well, then
game
then what was the record that we broke? Whenever we played them and beat them in Arrowhead.
I don't think you broke anything. You broke Sirianni's ego.
No, there was something like 18 straight games or something like that. I'll have to look it up. But either way, those are tough games, tough wins to play on the road consecutively on short weeks. Playing one Thursday, then when playing another one playing one Monday, then Thursday, then the following Sunday. Like the Eagles' schedule's been fucking brutal.
Well, have you heard from Goody, Mr. Goody? Because if he doesn't show up tonight,
he won't.
He's officially the little bitch award. We got to put it on his screen. You got to come on, edit something up. Want the little bitch award? It can be a baby crying or something. But all the shit I did last year, even the games, even after San Francisco this season, I've come on every episode. The man makes his triumphant return. And then doesn't show up the 2 weeks his team loses in a row. Come on, buddy, have some balls.
Well, what can you expect? Either way, I think, the offense has some stuff to work on. Our run defense is good. There was some promise from our pass defense. I don't think they played that bad, like I said, because there was bad calls on both sides. A couple defensive pass interference on Slay where people are falling down. There was some of those touchdown drives where it was, defensive pass interference and personal foul face mask, 45 yards. You're like, good fucking Lord. Like at that point, it was just so out of hand that the defense can only do so much when they're constantly on the field and we're constantly turning the ball over. That was like the Jets game. That was more like the Jets game.
I saw plenty of holds on Parsons not called all night just because Parsons.
And there was plenty. And there was plenty of holds on Riddick. There was plenty of holds on Riddick.
Oh, look at me, Rap! He's holding me.
Because there was plenty of holds against Josh Sweat and those other guys. There's holds on both sides of the play, both sides of the ball. That's like it's part of the game. They're not always going to get called all the time. But some of the calls were super late. There was late calls against y'all where it's like, wait, what? You're throwing a flag that was literally 8 seconds ago, and they're like, oh, illegal contact. You're like, what the fuck? There was a couple where it was totally uncatchable, and they called pass interference.
Multiple where it was no foul on the play. Or they would just like pick it up, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, there was a couple where there was a hold that was blatantly a hold, and they threw it right when it happened, and they were like, that was the first touchdown. And they were like, oh, never mind, we picked it up. They did that twice in that game.
No, that was a pick, but it was literally.
No. There was one that was a hold. The first touchdown, there was one that was a hold, and they didn't call. They threw the flag, and then they picked it up. I mean, 2.0, what's your take on the game? You bet Eagles. We always split. It's always like, if I'm going to watch them win.
Told you.
But we do. We've split for years. But we'll see what happens. We'll see who wins.
I did not bet the Eagles. I kind of stayed out of it. I was worried about the Eagles' schedule coming up to it. They had a brutal schedule. And I think it just finally caught up to them against the Cowboys. But I think these next 4 weeks are going to be good. They play some easier opponents. They can kind of rest and recoup before the playoffs.
Don't sleep on DeVito.
Think about it.
Think
about it. They played Miami. What was it, like Miami, Washington?
Yeah, but Miami's not even that good, really. They are like
Miami can score. Miami can score. Miami can score. And when they're 100,
Tyreek on the
and when they're 100
off the field, their whole offense just nosedives.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
kind of crazy.
But they're one of the few offenses we've seen that can score.
And do we still know why he went out of the game? Like,
I'm not sure. I mean I don't know.
They said ankle injury, and it looked like he never was.
Should I be petrified if I'm an Eagles fan right now? Like I was saying I should be.
No, I didn't say petrified.
No.
Okay, don't put words. I said a little worried.
I don't think so. I mean, you're battle tested. You've gone through the rigor. You've beaten some good teams. I think you'll have a lot of confidence going into the playoffs.
I think he's got
always take number one.
Well, I mean, if we all win out, we still win the division.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think y'all win out. I think.
Do you think y'all win out? You think y'all win out?
Have a damn good chance. The way our team's rolling, fuck yeah.
Who do they play?
In the right
the
time.
Bills. They play the Bills, the Dolphins, the Lions. The Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders. No. Who's the last team you play?
Yes.
Yeah, Commanders.
Lions, I'm not scared of anymore. Lions are falling apart. And they're not falling apart, but they're not looking as strong as they once were. Mm-hmm. All the teams we are playing are not as strong as they once were.
Bills, I get it, but you're also
finally had a good game last week.
What I'm saying is, you're playing the Bills. Are playing for a playoff spot. They cannot lose a game. You're playing
for MVP.
You're playing
for number one.
No, if the Niners finish with the number one seed, I mean honestly, if Tyreek Hill, like I said before, if Tyreek Hill breaks the record for most receiving yards, and it's a toss up on who's the best team in football, I bet you Tyreek Hill could potentially win the MVP for most receiving yards for breaking that record. I could see that happening if the Cowboys and Eagles tie, and then San Francisco doesn't. Let's say San Francisco loses one or two more games. Let's just say they lose a game. Brock Purdy might, or he has one bad game. He might not. So what I'm saying, I think it's a real toss up on what quarterback could win it. Lamar Jackson could win it. Mahomes is out of it, but there could be. Brock Purdy could have 3 games of 5 touchdowns, and it doesn't matter what Dak does, and Brock Purdy's going to win the MVP.
No, that's not true. If Dak plays the way he's played the last 4 weeks, he will win it. If he finishes the season the way and we win out, yeah, there's no doubt.
I think it's going to be harder to win out than you think it is because these are teams that are playing for playoff spots.
I'm not saying it's going to be
playing
easier.
For divisions. What you're saying?
I'm just saying 3 to 4 weeks ago, the end of our schedule was a lot more scary than it is to me now. That's what I'm saying. I
can see that. I still think it's
Bills at Buffalo is going to be a tough. It's going to be cold. It will be a tough game. But Cowboys in Miami, warm environment. That'll be almost And there's a lot of Cowboy fans in Miami, a lot. And so that'll be a home away from home game. Lions, I'm actually not worried about at all how our team stacks against. I think our pass rush is going to eat Jared Goff alive. And Commanders will play us hard just because it's a division rivalry.
I mean,
And like I said, y'all's schedule it's kind of the opposite. Y'all looked real easy, but let's be real, dude. These Giants all of a sudden, like, what is going on with DeVito and this mojo he have got?
well,
Do you see his agent?
he's just playing with house money, man. He's just chucking the ball around playing football because he's got nothing to lose. I mean,
He's looking good though. He actually is.
no, yeah, I mean, he played in college. It's not like he was bad, but I mean, he's mobile. He's a pretty good athlete. He'll throw the ball around. And like I said, he's just playing with house money. He's taking chances. It's probably the healthiest we've seen Saquon Barkley in a long time. So he's got some weapons around him, and they're just, like I said, playing with house money, trying to fuck people up.
I think DeVito, other than all the players for MVP race, the most impressive is right now is DeVito and Browning. Like, no one expected either of these two to come in and not even maybe win a game, maybe, and not because of them, And now they're both what? Isn't Browning undefeated since he's stepped in Joe's?
Yeah, I mean, and
so.
Browning, I mean, threw the ball around a lot in college because he's from Washington. I mean, he's good. But
Yeah,
you got to
until he
think.
went to that
But you
Peyton
got to
Manning
think.
tour or
Of,
whatever.
but you can't negate the weapons that he has around him that helps facilitate.
No, but also
He's got
it's
Joe
just
Mixon,
a weird season
he's
of all
got-
these backups through,
Well, it's-
second string, third string. It's just crazy.
Fucking injuries, man.
Yep.
Well, let's get into some of these games, other games, real quick. Patriots Steelers. Patriot beat the Steelers with Zappy. Trubisky loses. Ran for a
Another Zappy. Yeah.
touchdown. I mean, but we saw him play a little bit last year. But
Is he breaking up on your end, or is that my service?
do what?
Okay, now you're sounding better. Your voice was getting choppy. I was wondering. if
Oh,
it was
it's
my
probably
service.
because it's probably because I moved. Oh, let me move my mic.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm looking at the screen. I mean, do the Steelers finish with a winning record this year? Is this the first year they lose that?
If they do, Steelers aren't winning a playoff game. I can guarantee that.
Yeah. It's possible. Texans
Because
at
who's their
Jets.
quarterback now?
Did that talk about wild game? 91 passing yards by C.J. Stroud. Zach Wilson lit it the fuck up.
Well, didn't C.J. Stroud go out of the game?
In the fourth quarter, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was fourth. Okay.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, he's leading the league in passing, and then Zach Wilson lights them up for 301. They fall to 7-6. Jets at 5-8. I mean, this is the weirdest team. And then Greg Zuerlein, 51, 55, 44 at the end of the game. Then they got one touchdown by the Texans, and they missed the extra point. Terrible.
No, there's only one game we're gonna say this week was terrible, and you already know what game I'm gonna talk about. Embarrassment. That's the word I can use.
Ravens Rams, that was a wild ass game. Came down to a field goal, a punt return in overtime
Yeah.
for a touchdown. Super awesome. There's a safety in this game that gave them the lead. Zay Flowers scored a touchdown with 1:16 left. There's a 7-second left field goal. There's a bad pass interference. We had a 76-yard punt return. That
Yeah, it
play's
sucks
crazy
the Rams
too.
lost for them just because that might have been their best game of the year as far as them performing.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the what they're 10-3, so that's us Cowboys. There's a shit ton of teams at 10-3. There's a shit ton of teams at
Who, Baltimore?
7-6. Yeah, there's a lot of teams at 7-6 too.
Oh, and dude, the AFC is insane. What's technically still in the hunt for the playoffs?
Then we had Panthers Saints. Saints beat the Panthers. Panthers are just bad. I don't even know, they're just bad. To think that, I mean, good thing they won a game against the Texans, and that, if I remember correctly, that was a super low scoring game. So it's not like they haven't won, but good lord, they need picks, they need people, they need players, but they traded away a lot of their picks. They got to rethink what they're doing because they're just getting the shit kicked out of them. I mean, the Saints are not that good. 28-6. That's a boring ass game to watch.
Well, and I don't know if you saw the footage. I didn't see the game live, but Derek Carr in the center about to fight on the field.
Oh, I didn't see that, but I'm not. I wouldn't. Be
Oh yeah, his own center, like them, like Derek Carr, like mouthed off or something, and then like the center was being held back, and this wasn't on the sidelines. Like this was while they were walking off the field. It was like this isn't a good look.
Yeah,
And Jameis is just acting like, oh,
Jam- Jameis is awesome. Yeah, I mean the Saints are kind of imploding. Lose Breeze, lose everything. They're imploding, but 13 of 36 for 137. I mean, other than Adam Thielen, but I mean the Saints are trash. They're 6-7. Neither of these teams are good. It's,
yeah, I'm almost happy I didn't make the playoffs in my fantasy because all my like Thielen that did good for me fell off. Herbert is out, so even if I made the playoffs, I don't have a quarterback now. It's like God.
we got the Bengals and the Colts 7-6. That's after this game. Bengals beat the Colts. Gardner Minshew threw for 240 and a touchdown. Jake Browning 275, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Joe Mixon ran for 80 and a touchdown. Chase Brown 3 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown. Good game, but you know the Bengals almost 400 yards of offense and we're averaging 6.8 yards per play. I mean, yeah, this Bengals team. I don't know. I mean, are they in the playoffs right now? We'll look at it in a second.
Who's yeah? I'm trying to think. Who's is Cleveland?
No,
I think
they're
Cleveland's leading the division.
Yeah. Dolphins are in first, 9-4. Then Bills 7-6. Chiefs 8-5. Broncos 7-6. Ravens 10-3. Browns 8-5. Steelers Bengals 7-6.
Yeah, that one touchdown pass Russell Wilson threw was pretty.
And then Jags.
That I saw in the highlights was nice.
Jags 8-5. Colts Texans 7-6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that are 7-6. Just on that side. Then on our side, we're both 10-3. Niners 10-3. Lions 9-4. And you got the whole division NFC South. Bucks, Falcons, Saints, all 6-7. Jeez. Vikings,
Yeah,
and then it's 9-4 Lions, 7-6.
it's almost like you want to be the top ranked wild card in the NFC
Yeah. Rams,
this
Seahawks,
year.
Rams and Seahawks both 6-7. The Giants are 5-8. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of teams at 6-7 in the NFC East. There's a 3/4 of a division is 6-7, with the Bucks in first place. Crazy. Crazy. We had Bucks beat the Falcons 29-25. Baker Mayfield 2 touchdowns. I mean, who do you think wins this division? Is it the Bucks? I mean, if I had to pick a team, I'm thinking it's the Bucks. That's gonna win.
I honestly think Baker's the best quarterback in that division.
Definitely the most consistent. Because Carr's awful.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder, I mean, there's flashes of him looking good, but it's all like whatever. Like, he doesn't do anything special. Obviously, you know, young, and the Panthers are doo-doo.
There's talks that what do you think about Atlanta going after Justin Fields if Chicago doesn't want to continue?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like that
offense. Yeah, right when I heard it, I go, man, that actually. Him and Bijan Robertson.
But I think you keep him. You trade your first round.
Well,
you trade your first round, your number 1 overall pick.
Never doubt the Bears.
You
to do crazy, stupid shit.
You trade your number 1 overall pick for multiple more picks, maybe a first next year and a couple more extra picks this year, and you just stick with Fields and you use your other because they have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Right. So then you can keep your second one, and then I'd trade back the top one, use your second one because they're both going to be like top 5 picks, and then I'd use that for extra picks and just keep Fields, and then I'd go ahead and pick up his 5th-year option so he knows he's got a couple more years, and that'd be your cheapest route. That'd be the cheapest route because if they take somebody at 3 or whatever, it's going to be just as much. Just, it's just going to cycle through. So I mean, if I was them, I would just go ahead and sign him so he has some sort of stability and feels invested in, and then you could just use that for more picks because they could use the picks. They have a lot of issues, not just quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, your best receiver, all he does is run stop routes. But, I mean, crazy game. Another crazy game. Fucking Falcons, man. They have so much talent. Because, I mean, you could see them trading and getting a pick.
Yeah.
And
I think they're going to be
after,
a good team this year.
Imagine if they got Caleb Williams. Hotlanta got Caleb Williams. Black people pass out in the street. Browns beat the Jags. Joey the crowbar, dude.
Yeah. Flacco's looking.
I love Flacco.
Real good. How old is he?
44, something like that.
Yeah, dude.
I was praising him before on the show because Joe Flacco's got one of the best win percentages in the playoffs in the history of football, and one of the best.
It's crazy how
touchdown to pass.
Rusty at all.
There
wasn't even a point where he was dusting off rust.
He's got a howitzer, dude. He's got a fucking rail gun of an arm, and he always has. There's a touchdown pass he burned your Broncos with, where he's just got a fucking cannon. And enough touch, but yeah, 3 touchdowns, 26 of 45 for 311. He did throw a pick, but he outplayed Lawrence. Lawrence had 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Browns defense is good. Cleveland's sitting at 8-5. I mean, Njoku had 2 touchdowns, 6 catches. It looks like he comes to life with Flacco back there. Joey the crowbar, dude.
Playoffs with that defense, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, one of the best touchdown to interception ratios in NFL history in the playoffs as well.
And didn't when he won the Super Bowl had a mean ass defense?
Well, whenever they won the Super Bowl, he had 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the playoff run in Super Bowl. It went off.
Ray Lewis and them on that team.
Yeah, but that was like Ray Lewis's last hurrah, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a similar team he's on now.
Because he had Jacoby Jones, one of my favorite unsung heroes. He was a beast. He was on the Texans whenever the Texans first started in the expansion.
That would honestly be the best story for the AFC, in my opinion. Joe Flacco takes the Browns to the Super Bowl. Oh,
dude, I wonder what those odds are now. If it's like Flacco is Super Bowl MVP, what those betting odds would be. Put $100 down, make $1 million, dude. That'd be crazy. But I mean, yeah, they beat the Jags. The Jags have been playing good, but they got beat. That's a good defense. I think they thought it would be a cakewalk. They thought Flacco wouldn't be able to sling it. He was fucking whipping that shit all around, throwing some dots, man. I love to see it. I love Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is awesome. And he was the highest paid quarterback in the league. I was like, fuck yeah. Just because he's Joey the Crowbar from New Hampshire, the Blue Hens. That's where he went to his college, the
Blue Hens.
Yeah, New Hampshire Blue Hens, man. This is legit. Bears beat the Lions. Goff 2 picks, 1 touchdown. Gibbs 1 touchdown. Reynolds a touchdown. I mean, this was kind of a dogfight. The Bears got up early, and then Detroit took the lead, and then it was just kind of an ugly football game. If I remember correctly, that last touchdown was, where was it? Yeah, DJ Moore caught that 38-yard touchdown pass. That's what I'm saying. I think you got to stick with them. Lions are gonna get better. Supposedly, Gardner Johnson's supposed to come back this week to be back on the defense. He's back from his little knee issue or whatever he had. You could say what you want about our secondary, but letting that guy go looked like the right decision because he hasn't played all year. Jesus. But
that's suspect to me. Like, when one player goes out and your whole scheme kind of falls apart, a good team, and I say that knowingly because the Cowboys.
No, because if you took Micah Parsons off of your defense would not be as effective as it is. It wouldn't be.
It wouldn't crumble.
It would.
It would
It wouldn't
crumble.
be. No, but it wouldn't.
We lost Diggs,
It
and
would be
another cornerback
substantial.
sets the fucking
I got you, and you still have.
touchdown. Yeah,
I got you, but you
unreal.
do have a lot of interceptions that are thrown based off of a heavy pass rush, getting in the quarterback's face and making bad decisions, and then those balls end up being short, underthrown.
Yeah, well, your D
Time
line
to
without Fletcher Cox is nothing. So shut up.
I mean, whatever. I guess. I guess our defensive line didn't play that bad against y'all. Anyways, what I'm saying is Gardner Johnson led the league in interceptions last year and missed like 6 games. He's an all-pro at safety. He's a douchebag, but he's really good in their secondary. So it shifts everybody. So that someone like him in your secondary can make a difference. You can make an equivalent that Charlie Gardner Johnson at 100% is a Micah Parsons-esque impact player in the secondary. If he was on the Cowboys, your defense would be insane. If you put him on a lot of teams, if you put him on the Broncos, your defense would be psychopathic. It'd be so much better because Gardner Johnson's really fucking good. Like, he's actually legit. He's just a terrible kind of asshole of a dude, but he's really good. But he's been out since week 3 or week 4. But the Bears, I mean, they're not. I mean, I don't think they're playing to draft another quarterback either. They're at 5-8. Who are you gonna get? You're gonna get it like.
Well, they got the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, if they. Oh yeah, because they have the Panthers pick. That's right, and the Panthers are 1-12. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think you trade out of that spot, or unless there's some transformative offensive lineman or something like that, I think you got to trade out of that spot. I think you have to. I don't think you can roll the dice again on a court. I think you stick with him. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think the fan base would get mad because in either way, if he doesn't work out next year, you'd still have an extra pick where you could draft somebody, you could move some things around and figure something out. Maybe he doesn't work out. If
Bears were smart, they should draft number 1 pick, wide receiver, or a lineman, and build from there in the draft, and just add as many weapons for Fields.
Well, yeah,
he's proving it.
I'd figure out who wants the number 1 pick, let him take it. You can kind of figure out who's going to be around on your board, and if there's a good like tackle or a good guard, some like I said, top prospect, offensive line to add some protection to him, you take him at that other pick spot, whatever it is. If it's 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, because a lot of people are going to trade up to try to go get one of these quarterbacks who are desperate for one. And you're going to see other people trade back. So you're going to have an opportunity to go out and go get somebody. You could go get another game-breaking wide receiver. You could draft Marvin Harrison Jr. if you wanted to. You could draft him and then trade your 3rd pick back and go out there and get arguably one of the best receivers that we've seen come out of college in a while. And there's been a bunch of good ones since, but he's crazy good. You could bring him in and add him and have him with a DJ Moore and have both of those guys on the outside. You could do that. And then trade your other 1st-round pick back and get extra picks. Go out and get the receiver if you want him. They got to do something. I don't think that getting another quarterback is the answer. Because wherever you send Justin Fields, if they invest in him, he is going to end up getting better. He's going to end up improving, and he's going to be a dynamic game changer in this NFL. Whether he's on the Bears or a different team, I think it'd be even worse if he left and went and balled out, and you drafted Drake May and he ended up sucking ass. And Justin Fields got the Falcons to the playoffs. That would be really shitty. That would get you fired. But trading back one of these picks, investing in people around him, and investing in his future, and that failing, but you still having picks to go out and try to make a move and make something happen to replace him, I don't think you get fired for that. But I think you get fired for trading him and him doing good. And you dropping the ball.
I'll be surprised. Bears will surprise their fans.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is a new Bears team, though. They got a lot of ammunition and a lot of power. You just got to do what's right. You got to move some shit around and figure out who you want, where you want them, and go from there, right? So that's what. And the Lions, I mean, they're 9-4. I mean, it's a tough game. You're playing in Chicago. They're always up for that game. It's a rivalry game. Their defense has been a little suspect. Hutchinson hasn't been doing so well. But, I mean, this team does have Gibbs. It does have Montgomery. They do have talented receivers. I think Goff is probably the best quarterback in that division. I'd take Goff over a lot of quarterbacks. and how he goes about managing the game and his decision making. Him throwing 2 picks, I mean, that's, he doesn't do that super often. So I think this is just any given Sunday type game, and we saw that there's every first place team lost basically last week. Every team that was in first place besides the Niners lost. I'm pretty sure.
Because wasn't it?
Or the Ravens, and every first place team is lost in the past 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, I'm saying, wasn't it Jacksonville? If they won, they would have gone to first place.
No, Miami. If Miami won, but Miami's 1 game behind for first place. So Miami. That's what I'm saying is Miami's playing for a bye. They're playing for home field advantage. So they're playing to play at home in the playoffs. They're playing for something. The Bills genuinely cannot lose a game and expect to make it into the playoffs if they lose another game. So they have to try to do their best to win out. But the Lions are going to be playing for seeding. If we see San Francisco lose another game or 2 games, or they end up winning out, the Lions still have a shot at being the number 1 overall seed. They're 1 game behind, us. So it's not like they're that far off, or they still have something to play for. They still have home field advantage to play for depending on matchups. And it looks like it's real top heavy in the NFC. There's there's the Eagles, there's the Niners, and then other than that, it's real fucking top heavy. Lions are there, but they're right on the cusp. Everyone else is pretty shaky. The AFC is a little more open, but it's like coming down to that, to like who's going to end up in our division, who's going to win, who's going to lose. So who's going to play like the Bucks or whoever the fuck in the first round, because then whoever it is, it's going to be a rematch between the 2 of us. If that's how it shakes out, that's probably going to be, because then the lowest seed in the playoffs, unless someone else wins, would move on to play the number 1 seed. So wouldn't the 4 would play the 1, correct?
Yeah.
Or 5 would play 1 if everybody else loses. Unless the other seed wins out and there's an upset, we'd be the lowest seeded team still in the playoffs, and it'd be a rematch. So it's like, and it'd be the same for y'all. If you guys are the Wild, so that game could be in Dallas or in Philly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's like in 5 to 6 weeks, we could be playing each other, no matter how this plays out. It just depends on at whose stadium. But the Lions or Niners and all that stuff getting shaken around, that's where the Packers trying to make a play for the division. If they end up winning out, they could be in the mix for it. That's where shit gets fucked up. So a team like Detroit has a lot more to play for than it seems, because if they drop the ball, they could be in some shaky situations, because then you're playing at Dallas, playing at Philly, or you're playing at San Francisco. Those are not 3 places you want to play at ever. I don't care who your team is, you don't want to play there, especially in the playoffs. Don't want to play.
I can't believe. Thank God Cowboys finally have a home field advantage.
Because Cowboys game will be loud indoors. It'll be loud as fuck if you're playing Levi's Stadium or whatever the fuck it is for the Niners. And then it's going to be miserable outside if you're playing in Philly. It's going to be cold and miserable, raining or snowing. You're not going to want to be there. So, I mean, none of those are fun. Or you can play indoors in Detroit.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I need to look up the forecast for the Cowboys game to see how. Luckily, it's not a night game in Buffalo, because that would be even worse.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, Goff, those 2 turnovers, and that's what we saw a lot this weekend, turnovers, blowing games for teams, just like the Eagles. Turnovers. Niners beat the Seahawks. Seahawks were down Geno, Drew Lock, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Brock Purdy, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. McCaffrey, 16 for 145. I think the first play of the game, he ran for like a quadrillion yards. Deebo Samuel, 7 for 149 and a touchdown. I mean, they look good. There's a lot of beef between Metcalf and Warner and all of them, and there's, these reports have come out where they were showing video of DK Metcalf losing his cool in other games before, trying to mess with him to get in his head and make him drop flags. Some of those plays, like that Fred Warner hitting the back of the head type bullshit, was kind of garbage. So I could see why he was a little bit pissed. The Niners were kind of taking some cheap shots, but DK Metcalf is kind of like a crazy ass motherfucker. He's kind of a crazy person. But they win again, so they're at 10-3. Seahawks fall to 6-7.
Is what's his name supposed to be back for y'all's game this weekend?
Geno?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know he had a groin injury. That's all I know. He had a groin injury, was warming up, then wasn't able to play. Then the Vikings, 3-0.
That's the embarrassment. Oh my
Nick
God.
Mullins, 9 of 13 for 83 yards. Aiden O'Connell, 21 of 32 for 171 and a pick. Yeah, fucking terrible, man.
Like, how does that happen in a pro fucking football game? 3-0.
I think that's the lowest scored game in history.
Oh, I mean, might as well make it 0-0 and both y'all walk away and both take a loss. Like, what are we talking?
The only way it could get more lows if it was just a safety.
Yeah.
It'd be 2-0. That's it. That's the only 1 point lower.
And who was that? Vikings who again?
Vikings Raiders.
Yeah. Oh, and so we got a 6-0 the week before, right? Chargers, Patriots.
Yep.
Now we got a
3-0.
And now we got tomorrow night's game. Raiders, Chargers. Is it gonna be another fucking
there's no Herbert, so it's gonna be bad.
9-0?
It's gonna be bad. There's gonna be no Herbert with his big old sausage fingers. But yeah, Raiders lose.
Yeah. Move on. That game, like I said,
0. Fire everyone. Broncos Chargers. Broncos win, and you break the fingers of Herbert. Russell Wilson, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Javonte Williams seems to be getting healthier and healthier, honestly. 66 for a touchdown. Sutton, 3 for 62 and a touchdown. And then they had Easton Stick come in, 13 of 24 for 179. But Herbert was 9 of 17 for 96 yards and a pick before he got hurt. They fall to 5-8. How you feeling, man? You're 1 game out of first place.
I'm feeling good when I look at the playoff picture. I'm trying to figure out where we'll fit in. Losing that game to the Texans really hurt. If we would have won that game, I'd feel a lot better about making the playoffs, but I don't know. I'm feeling good. We've won 5 of our last 6, I believe it is. It's gonna. Hoping we'll make the playoffs. Need some things to go our way, but we'll see.
Are you excited for the future of this Broncos team?
Yeah, like what's your faith level out of 1 through 10 with Sean Payton and Russell moving forward?
I don't know. I'm not like super optimistic because Russ isn't a 6, 7, 8 year solution. In my mind, he's a 2 to 3 year solution. But if they have the same level of success, our team's not going to be bad enough to draft a good quarterback. So then we got to find a free agent quarterback to come in. And I don't know who that's going to be. So I am a little worried about what we're going to be like post-Russ. But I think Sean Payton's doing a good job. He's clearly doing something with Russ. And I don't know. I'm happy.
You think he's telling him to shut the fuck up? This is what he's doing. I remember in the beginning, they're like, quit being so corny. Quit trying so hard. He said something to him to that effect. I don't remember what it was, but he said something to him when he first started at the beginning of the year. Because Russ,
quit kissing babies.
Yeah, quit kissing babies. That's what it was. Yeah, I mean, you guys are on a roll. Bounce back. I mean, if you guys make the playoffs, he has a chance. You could make a case for being coach of the year.
Absolutely.
Lost by 70 points. Bills beat the Chiefs. Josh Allen, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Pat Mahomes, a touchdown, a pick. James Cook had 5 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown, and he was also their leading rusher. He had a crazy early touchdown catch, and it was just like catching balls out of the backfield left and right earlier in the game. And then obviously there's the big debacle, the Kadarius Toney offsides play, where he's blatantly off fucking sides. He's off sides. There's no...
Yeah, and if it wasn't the same player that's cost them multiple games this year, like, come on, dude.
If he's not on the team, and you just take the plays that he's cost them out, I think if you did that and you took the points away, the touchdowns he scored, they'd still be 10-3. as opposed
Mhm.
to 8-5.
Absolutely. I mean, but they have no other options. Who else do they have besides Kelsey?
They should have gone after DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
He was there. He was available. They look stupid as fuck not trying to go get DeAndre Hopkins now. They need him.
Mhm.
They got Sky Moore and all these. But that's Andy Reid, man. That's classic Andy Reid. So it's good that he won. No, I'm telling you, because he was an Eagles coach for a long time, and this is what
Mhm.
he fucking does. Andy Reid believes that his offensive system is better than any receiver that can exist in it. Doesn't matter who the receiver is, they're not better than the system. And that's why we wound up with like Todd Pinkston and James Thrash and Freddie Mitchell and all these like B minus receivers.
Well, that's true,
Hold
too.
on,
It
whenever let
doesn't
me
help.
finish my thought. Whenever we had McNabb, and then when we finally got a good receiver in that offensive system, they went to the Super Bowl and it was Terrell Owens. It's the same shit. So that's what he's doing in Kansas City, and this is like the biggest issue that he has. His little short game passing works. He doesn't like to run the ball that much. He likes to use the short pass as opposed to the run. He substitutes it out, and he thinks that he can make any receiver the best receiver in the world. And so does Mahomes. But Andy Reid has been like this for forever. So the fact that they don't have any receivers is not surprising. That they got
all you're saying is true, then it's even worse now.
Yeah,
Because he has one of the best quarterbacks in the league, so it's like that comfortability and ego. It's like,
he
now
got
I
that.
really can do anything because I have this guy and my
he's validated now by the Super Bowls that he's won. So that's like he's been to a couple. Now he finally won some. But yeah, hit a home run. Tyreek falls to him in the draft. I mean, he gets it done with a lot of these pieces, but like the Andy Reid is not the best evaluator of talent when it comes to wide receiver. Never has been, never will be. That's not. I mean, offensive linemen, absolutely. Running backs, shifty running backs, good out of the backfield, multi-purpose guys like a Brian Westbrook or all those other guys that were on the Eagles, and like they've had, 100%. He can find those type of scheme guys. He's like Bill Belichick when it comes to that. But when it comes to wide receivers, he's just like Bill Belichick. Fucking terrible at picking wide receivers that are going to be consistent. That's not what they can do. That's not what they do. We didn't get another one since T.O. until the new coach traded for Alshon Jeffrey. And what happened? They went to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl because they had a big number one receiver. That's why whenever the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown, they were like, okay, thank you. Because Devontae Smith can't be our only wide receiver. This dude's tiny. You need a bigger guy. You need a physical guy, right? Like just like all the Cowboys have CD, just like y'all have Sutton.
CD's not the biggest physical dude.
CD's a pretty big dude.
Good.
No, CD's a big.
Not considered to an AJ Brown or a Debo.
No, AJ Brown.
Not that big.
He's definitely bigger than Debo. Debo's short. Debo is short.
Well, he might be taller, but he's not.
I'm talking about big as in size. I'm not talking like the different, like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is like standing next to like Joe. Joe is substantially taller than Devontae Smith. Like Devontae Smith is not that much.
CD wasn't a number one.
Is not that much taller than us. Everybody said that's stupid. CD Lamb's always been good. It's just seeing his speed and seeing him go up against better defenses because he played in the Big 12. It's like, okay, well, we've seen world-breaking wide receivers come out of the Big 12 and not do shit in the NFL. And that's not his fault. That's just the fact that the defense is bad. The secondary's not the same, and he's not going up against like the corners at Florida State or the corners at fucking Florida or Miami or Alabama or South Carolina or Ole Miss. Like they're on a prospect level. Some of those guys are better than the corners at Oklahoma State.
Well, and I'll be honest,
you have
to say right now, not career-wise, but right now, Ferguson's top 10 tight end in the league.
No, Ferguson's
good.
He
is playing lights out.
He's playing really good. He makes some good plays. He's got good hands. He's a big fucking dude. I worry.
Schultz too.
No, because Schultz is great.
No,
so you can't say that. I do worry about his health in the sense that he takes a lot of unnecessary contact because he seeks it out. And there's a couple times where he gets hit where I'm like, dude, this guy's like, he's going to get pulled into the blue tent one of these games because he runs it, he seeks it out. And that's fine. I love guys that are like that. So that's awesome. Like, and he's super fucking good at that. But he just needs to protect himself and his head a little bit more. Every time he runs and he's trying to run somebody over, I get worried that he's going to get his fucking bell rung by somebody because he leads with his head. Like, he's awesome, but he totally lowers into people. And I mean, fine, fuck it, whatever. I mean, if he gets fined, fuck it. Like, I get it, but he's super talented, and I'd hate to see him get like a concussion and be out because he just doesn't want it because he's trying to go hit people. Just like Dallas Goedert snapped his arm and was out for 4 games because he wants to go around and stiff arm because he runs just as angry. And like, they're both angry, violent runners, which is great. But it's like, dude, it's like, step out of bounds. Like, just step the fuck out. He needs to protect himself. Ferguson's too valuable to your offense to get to get hurt on like a 15-yard in route. He wants to run for 19 yards and he's trying to run over a safety. Like, I get it, but there's a lot more of the season left, and he doesn't need to get himself fucking hurt, you know? He's just one of those guys where I'm like, man, like, chill the fuck out. Like, a little bit, because, like, you're good. I don't still want to see him get hurt. It's the same, like, with Goddard. Some of these guys, I'm like, just chill the fuck out, man.
Yeah, I didn't listen to my own advice with Goddard, and I actually started him over Ingram. And Ingram went the fuck off. I was like, God, my year in fantasy.
Everybody that I know who's a Cowboys fan who I never really bug that much, but they love to harass me via text message whenever we play. They all lost their fantasy football games, and they all lost because they started Eagles players. So one of them started Jalen Hurts. One of them started. So I laughed. I was like, well, that's fine. At least you're like, and some of them are out of the playoffs now because of that.
Well, it doesn't help me that my opponent has Dak and CeeDee Lamb, so I'm like,
that's
wanting
great
to root for them, but also seeing, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, so that made me a little bit happy. But no, I mean, the Bills are good on offense. Defense is a little sus because they have tons of injuries. And how the fuck is Von Miller allowed to play?
I was just thinking the same thing when I heard his name mentioned. I was like, wait, what? I thought he was a warrant for his arrest. Like,
well, he turned himself in, and then of course they let him fucking go. But yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's crazy because we see people get, people running a parlay, having their buddy pick parlays for him with his money and get suspended for a whole season. And Calvin Ridley, like, fuck that. This dude's out here slapping chicks around. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I guess it shows something about our country, the whole abortion laws, and now it's like, oh, you can beat up a pregnant woman. We don't care.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill and him have that in common. Packers, Giants. Giants beat the Packers. Jordan Love's looked pretty efficient, but they ended up collapsing in this game. It was a game-winning drive by DeVito. Just 17 to 21 for 158 and a touchdown, but Barkley had 20 carries with 2 touchdowns. This team is scrappy. They're going to run the ball on you, try to play good defense. They have a decent, the Giants aren't an easy out. But the Packers collapsed. They've had a lot of momentum. They were playing good, looking like they could be potentially pushing for, playoff spot. And, obviously the Lions lose, so they could use to pick up that game, close the gap a little bit, but they blew it. I mean, Packers are I think they're still figuring it out. They're fairly young, but
totally.
But
I think Love is definitely their future.
Mm-hmm.
Just the moments he's shown this season alone, and this is his first. Yeah, this is his first season, right?
But they have a couple injuries. They don't have Aaron Rodgers, and you're seeing how much of a difference maker he makes on your team despite injuries, because they had injuries last year. The Packers always have fucking injuries, so. Right. You can see that this year they're not getting over the hump like they used to in these close games like they would with Aaron Rodgers. Despite how you feel about Aaron Rodgers, he would get you over the hump and make it not matter that, like, Greg Jones has been out pretty much all fucking year, and he's like, borderline all pro running back, running and receiving. So you're just running on AJ Dillon, and you're missing all these pieces, and your best receiver has been inconsistent. He's hurt a bunch this year. He'll make up for that. Jordan Love can't do that yet. So they're going to have to really invest in the offense and like look in the mirror and be like, we actually have to do something, because if them using first round picks on defensive players isn't helping them much because their defense isn't doing shit. So maybe switch it up, maybe go offense. I don't know. Maybe not hit home runs on like third round picks for tackles.
Moira.
And they're like, oh, Bakhtiari's great. It's like, yeah, but it's not like you drafted him like you knew he was going to be great. You were just like, oh, let's roll the dice and draft this guy, and maybe he'll be good. And then he ended up being fantastic. But guess what? Can't fucking stay healthy. So figure it the fuck out. But Giants win 3 in a row. They've won 3 in a row.
Man.
And then, yeah, Titans, Dolphins. Levis, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Henry, 17 carries for 34 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is this the end of Derrick Henry? DeAndre Hopkins, 7 catches for 124 and a touchdown. Tua, no touchdowns. Raheem Mostert, 2. I think it was Tyreek Hill ended up getting knocked out in this game.
For 2 quarters, I think it was.
Derrick Henry just looks like a shell of himself, honestly. DeAndre Hopkins can still ball. I mean, he's like their offense. All of our teams are stupid for not taking DeAndre Hopkins because he's out there cooking fools. He was out there cooking Howard and cooking Ramsey that whole fucking game. He was unguardable. Great tactician. I don't know why we all thought why he couldn't play. I don't know why we all bought into that narrative, because DeAndre Hopkins can still fucking ball. But their offense, they ran the ball fairly well. The Dolphins, but no receiving touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, if Waddle's your number 1 receiver, that's a problem. Cedric Wilson undersized, because they're all undersized. Everything is structured around speed. Everything
That's
with
what
them.
I'm saying. If Hill goes out, that offense is just weird. It just kind of fizzles out.
But watch them whenever they play y'all. They're going to do something where Tyreek Hill is going to run like a double move on Bland. Hold on.
Oh, he'll have some big plays.
Because McDaniel sets them up. He's fucking annoyingly smart.
Faith in Dan. Dan will figure it out and quickly shut down Hill and say, "Hey, do something else."
Yeah, but what I'm saying is McDaniel, their coach, offensive wizard man, grew up like watching people like Quinn and being like, how do I dissect this motherfucker's defense? So he's like, he looks at everybody's shit. He is like McVay. He is like beyond McVay in a lot of ways, and he's cooler. But he's a brainiac, so he's gonna have something. That's what I'm saying. He'll just set him up. He'll do everything that they do on offense is about setups and timings and putting you here, putting you there, lots of motions, figuring out where you are to make quick reads and decisions. I'm telling you, they'll run some little out route.
Yes,
Bland's picked. Hold on, but Bland picks that out route all the time, especially backside. He does. That's most of his.
I'm not saying that. It's just you gotta
backside out route
earlier in the podcast season, and that is Cowboys defense. You said matches up pretty well against one.
So I said that would be an interesting game to watch. Yes, because you're fast defense, fast offense. So that will be interesting to watch to see this. It's going to be a track race.
I think pressure on Tua in trouble. It's shown.
Oh yeah,
and their offensive line is not the greatest.
It's going to have to be they're going to have to be predicated off the run with y'all. They're going to have to run the ball first, pass second. And if they're able to run the ball and get play action, they're a scary team in play action. Because a 1-yard bite on a little fake on some dive play, and then Tyreek Hill's just sprinting down the field. That misstep for anybody else is like, oh, I could still catch up with him and maybe make a play on the ball. He's gone. Waddle's gone. Like, if Raheem Mostert sees a seam and he's running the ball in a stretch, he's fucking gone. Like, they're all so fast that if you give them a little bit of space, those guys take off. So whenever they play y'all, they're going to have to run the ball against you guys to be able to pass the ball. If they can't run, then they're fucked. Then they're going to be back there in shotgun. They're going to be throwing it short. It's going to be all these little crosses, and it's going to be playing right into what the strength of your defense is.
Well, and luckily, out of nowhere, our biggest weekends has all of a sudden disappeared for Cowboys, and that's our run defense. We haven't looked like that's the one thing consistently recently is like no one is running down our throats.
Well, it's hard to run the ball when you're
big
behind.
Plays, like even if I can think about this season, in general, There's been some big plays made in games against us where we blow coverage or someone misses a big tackle and it's just big play. But other than that, no team has really, other than Seattle, that was the only game where it was just like me watching going on to our defense. Like, can we just one drive, make it a stop, one drive?
Yeah.
Is that all the games?
Yeah.
And didn't you say you were taking a light bet last week? Like, not many?
Yeah, he only did a couple. But we're getting into
Yeah,
bets.
I only did 3.
2.0's bets. Lay them on me, you big dick bastard.
So I only had 3 bets last week. Went 1 and 2. The Ravens did not cover the -7 against the Rams. Covered a -6. But that overtime touchdown ended the game. They didn't kick the field goal. We didn't get the push. Just how it goes. Broncos +3 against the Chargers. They did cover that. Broncos ended up winning. So if you took the money line, you won a little bit more extra money right there.
Let's go.
And then the 2-leg teaser, the 49ers covered the 4.5 against the Seahawks, but the Dolphins did not cover the 7 against the Titans because they lost. So yeah, 1 and 2. But I feel really good about these picks this week. This week we got the
Like the
Packers
Cowboys, is that why?
-3. Nah. Got the Packers -3 against the Buccaneers. So this line has come down. I think it is a bit of an overreaction to the Packers losing last week. Jordan Love has still looked really good. It looks like they will get Aaron Jones back for this game.
I said Greg Jones. Aaron Jones.
No.
Greg Jones was a piece of shit. All right, continue.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck that guy. But yeah, the Buccaneers defense has not been playing really well. That whole team is just injury riddled. Then going from Tampa Bay up to Green Bay in the middle of December, I think it's not going to work well for them. So I like that this is at just a field goal, and so because of that, I'm taking the Packers -3 against the Bucs. Next up, we got the Rams -6.5 against the Commanders at -110. The Rams have been playing awesome. They've covered They've covered 4 straight games. They're 3-1 straight up, and gave the #1 seeded team in the AFC a run for their money this past week. Matthew Stafford's playing really well. They have a top 5 running back in the league. The Commanders, they are a good team. They'll play their division rivals tough, but overall, I just don't think they're that good. They've lost their last 3 games. I think it was by like 30, 33, and 12. I'm probably off by that, but all have been double-digit losses. So we get a hot Rams team against the Commanders team that's not doing too well. We only got getting less than a touchdown. That's why I like the Rams -6.5. And then last play here, only got 3 plays. Taking the Ravens team total over 23.5 against the Jaguars at +110. I'm amazed that we're getting plus money on this. I could go into a bunch of analysis on this, but plain and simple. The Jaguars have given up at least 24 points in 8 of their last 9 games. The Ravens have scored at least 24 points in 7 of their last 8 games. Plain and simple, the game's going to be down in Jacksonville. Will be a little windy, but still be warm weather. Aren't going to have to worry about this crappy Baltimore weather. So plain and simple, I just like him to score at least 24 points this game.
Makes sense. That's going to be, that's a big test. I mean, they've already had some big tests, but that's like the biggest test for the Jags that they've had all year.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Is that the game of the week? What is that?
No.
Sunday night game. I don't know if it's game of the week.
Yeah,
Game of the week is Cowboys Bills.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, y'all are the 3:30 Sunday, and then the Ravens Jags are 7:20.
Cowboys most games of the week in
There
the
are games
season.
that look good. Yeah, Packers. That Packers Bears or Packers Bucks game will be good. Titans 49ers or
Jesus
Titans
Christ.
Texans. Other than that, yeah, I mean it's all us, the Ravens, Cowboys, Bills. Y'all, the Lions, Broncos will be a good game too.
Dude, Travis Stroud will
Yeah,
not
that'll be
stop
good.
texting our fantasy group right now. It's just like dinging nonstop.
He won't stop. You said.
Dude, he was talking mad shit for a while in our text group, and like made up this whole like $1,000 bet that I supposedly made with him that never existed, and was like writing it so strong and to where the point everyone in the group was like, "Are you trolling or is this serious?" So you don't know who to believe. And I finally got fed up with it, and like pretty much I made a comment about burning bridges, and I was like, "Oh, Stroud doesn't even want me to go there. I've been nice leading up to this point." And after that was spoken, Stroud just stopped and like changed the subject, and it hasn't been brought up since. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I got so much fucking dirt on you, bro.
Yeah,
Don't even come at me.
yeah. Fantasy football gets tough, man. People start saying wild shit. Many a friendship
Oh, it's just
lost.
Stroud.
No, I mean I know. Well, trust me, I know. But still, you gotta be, be nice
But
to
on
each
other
other.
sports news, I got the update right before the podcast started. Draymond Green
Oh, suspended into.
suspended indefinitely.
That's not
Good.
surprise. That's not
Get him
surprising.
the. Dude, that was the most disgusting, like, just like, man.
He's just,
And the fact that it wasn't, what, a month ago he choked a dude out?
yeah, he's crazy. He's losing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just always talking shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some new toys this week, boys.
We don't need to hear about that.
Pee Wee Herman and Earl Sinclair. Come on, dude. Sick.
Eh,
Do you even know who Earl Sinclair is, Joe?
no.
Yeah, for your
No.
time.
Mm.
J-Hub's better
He's
know.
he's a
You
little
better know.
he's a little baby.
No, that's just the baby.
No, I'm saying 2.0. He's just a little baby. He's just a little guy, man. You gotta leave him alone. He's just making his way in
That's
the
the way I'm
world.
looking forward to is they put out Earl and the baby comes in the high chair, and I'm like, dude, I gotta get that.
Where are you putting these?
There.
Oh,
There.
Shouldn't have asked.
Dude, this Sinclair is sick, bro. Where's the flip around? Oh, come on.
awesome.
Dude. How
Oh, from
to-
dinosaurs. I know dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's so
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
Well,
Yeah,
if-
it's in my
you
face.
need-
Mama.
You gotta come over and check it out, bro.
you need to get what's his buddy's name? Carl, the T-Rex. Do they have a T-Rex?
Oh yeah, dude. So I've been
He's always
watching
smoking
show
the
with
cigarette.
more,
He's smoking a cigarette, but he has T-Rex arms. So it's like, how is he taking a drag? His arms won't go that far.
dude, that show's ridiculous. We were watching episodes before the podcast with Moira, and one of the episodes is the daughter, like, instead of instead of females when they're coming of age and they grow boobs, and all the boys are like liking girls who grow boobs, it's all about her not growing her tail in. It was just like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, there's
And, like, she
there's
wears
there's
this
a weed.
prosthetic tail, and like her brother like picks it up. He's like, "This is stupid," and then like she grows her tail in overnight, and she comes out, and the brother thinks it's a fake tail again, and he's like, "Oh, this isn't real." And then he's like, "Oh, I can't believe I just touched my sister's tail."
There's episode about steroids.
Yeah, oh
Or
yeah.
the boy, the son,
Robbie.
or Robbie gets into roids, and they're like these little like sea urchin chinchilla looking things. And then there's another episode about weed. There's a weed episode too.
Dude, I'm not even through season 1 yet, and half of the episodes is Robbie like changing the whole way dinosaurs have ever done anything.
Yeah, Come on,
Like I forgot
Dad.
about the hurling grandma. Earl was supposed to hurl his stepmom off the cliff because every dinosaur at 72 gets thrown in the tar pits, and Robbie's the reason why he doesn't get to, and changes the whole like, we gotta evolve. This is an old, It's so fucking funny.
Well, you
But anyway,
boys got anything else?
oh, Christmas has been 2 weeks. 1 week?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Crazy. What'd y'all
week
ask
and a
for?
half. I'm gonna be in Dallas next week.
Hey, for how many days?
3 or 4 days, I think.
See him, fam.
Ooh, together.
Yeah, including you, hopefully.
Yeah, motherfucker, you better.
Dude, you should come to Are you coming with your lady?
Nah, just my dad.
I was gonna say, you should
Well,
take
we'll
her
have
down
to-
Grapevine for Christmas Town.
Well, we'll have to
Mm.
go eat. Or you can come chill. But we'll have to go eat with your dad too. Have to go do something.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, Christmas coming up, so y'all get your gifts, get your shopping done, get all your shit done. As always.
There was some other sports news I wanted to say, but I can't remember. It wasn't just Draymond Green, stupid ass. There was something else. Fuck. I'll remember sometime.
Okay, give you 5 more
Shouldn't
seconds.
smoke before a podcast. Yeah.
Or during, like you haven't been.
I haven't been. This is just nicotine. If anything, I'm chasing the girl around or looking at Merle making weird noises behind my back.
True.
True.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here, like always. Thank you.
Oh, if you have a free day, if it's still in theaters, you want to go see the new Godzilla movie with me, I need to go see it.
No, I'm down. We'll
Apparently, it's amazing.
we'll talk IRL, and we'll figure it out. But appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, as always.
If there's...
Well, Eagles lose, Cowboys win. Fuck that. Whatever. A lot of football left. 10-3. Watch the games this week. There's not anything that's super good, but NFC East playoffs look wild. NFC South, they're all garbage, but it could be a wild finish, so we shall see. But as always, I appreciate y'all being here. Like, follow, subscribe, stay out of trouble, be good, and as always, peace.